My background is photography. I studied for 3 years after I left school, and then I traveled around the world. In 2000, moved back to Cape Town, and film and TV, kind of digital video was a natural progression. I just kind of fell into that. Putting things together, and my mind was always going in the direction of story. And eventually, after just freelancing as a camera op, I started as an assistant, camera operator, DP, and I was producing short little corporates and stuff. And then I started developing a documentary film in 2001 on the Knysna elephants. I was down there for a weekend, and I pitched it to Natural History Unit Africa, and they loved the story. They commissioned it, and I was like, my first film, stoked. And we went down and we filmed a story called The Search for the Knysna Elephants, and we shot for 6 weeks down in Knysna. We worked very closely with the 2 forest guards who were the trackers of the elephants. And on the last 5 days, we're just solidly tracking the elephant in the forest. And for me, that was definitely the best part, because there's no kind of pathways or trails that you're following. We're literally following where the elephant has gone. Elephants, that was the question. And so these forest guards, just watching how they were tracking, it just blew my mind, because there's no kind of sand or earth leaving footprints. It's the forest bed, which is just soft leaf. They were just looking at brush marks on like little kind of trees and saplings, and I think it was, I would say 50-50. The 50% was for them, seeing marks, but I'd say the other 50% was just intuition.
That's incredible.
So witnessing that, filming them, doing that tracking, and then each day, at the end of each day, we got really close. We would hear the elephant, or the dung was warm, and each time it would bolt. And then, on the second last day, it was the evening, and it's like this forest glade, and I said to the one guy, Wilfred, yes, dis waar ons die olifant moet skiet, jy weet. And he said, ek het net nou gedink, daai gedink. And literally 1 minute later, he was saying to me, Mark, dis hy, kry jou camera. I could tell he wasn't joking. Like, I was outside that bucky where the camera was rolling probably before it hit my shoulder. Yes. And I could see in the viewfinder just like these tusks starting to appear, and it slowly started coming out. I mean, for me, this is like the biggest goal of the whole film, to actually
get the elephants.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the forest guards, are they indigenous to that area?
Yeah, they relate all the way back to the Khoi and or the San that would have lived there, Since then, I've made several films with a guy I met on a pilot shoot, Pedro Mshojai from the States. I filmed with him for 30 days in the north of Kruger, and there every day for 30 days we were walking. They were doing a trails guiding course, and I was filming them doing it, and it was part of a film called Origins that we were filming. So just being out in the wild, in the bush in Kruger every day for 30 days, just that as a whole was just phenomenal. We've made a few more films together, and I've been over to the States quite a few times since then. And a lot of travel. Another very cool project I've worked on in 2018, we filmed a film called Oceans Without Limits. It was a guy called Gert Muller. He was producing it. He'd never made a film before. He had spent a life in making a living from the ocean. He had a commercial diving company that he recently sold. And so he wanted to give something back to the ocean. And so he wanted to go on an epic adventure. So the topic was looking at the impact of plastic pollution.
Oh, wow.
So we sailed from Cape Town, went all the way around to Richards Bay, and then up to Madagascar, up the west coast of Madagascar, and then from there to Seychelles, and then to Maldives, and then all the way from Maldives down to Chagos archipelago, which hardly anybody knows about. Really off the beaten track, and that was pretty awesome experience and adventure. Yeah, I mean, just being out at sea for that amount of time, you know, these uninhabited islands, and yeah, flying a drone off the yacht, getting those shots, you know, trying to land it again and catch it. It was always in a dream.
What is your opinion on AI's influence?
Funny enough, you know, this is the first time I'm using it. I'm actually busy working on a film that I started developing myself last year. It's called Hoops of Hope. It's about a youth basketball club based here in Hout Bay. They're called the Hout Bay Snipers. I've kind of done most of the shooting already, and I am now starting the post-production. So I'm using it a lot to help me with just script writing, you know. I put my pieces down and then I put it in there and I said, give it this kind of flow and feel and everything, and boop, there it comes, and it's like, fantastic. If you do not keep up with the technology, you will be left behind.
Yes.
And AI is, I think, the most significant breakthrough in technology, not just for our industry, but for the world industry, in every industry. So I say, if you're not going to actually learn how to make the most of it, you're going to get left behind.
What for you makes a story worth telling?
It needs to be a story that I find interesting, you know, and that needs to qualify on a certain level. First of all, the story. Second of all, there needs to be, you know, good filming material. You know, there needs to be some balance of visual cinematography that's going to make it nice to watch and interesting to watch. After I am interested, the other even more important criteria is this going to be interesting for other people to watch? You need to follow the hero's journey, man. It's kind of the archetype that falls into almost every film. You know, there needs to be some kind of goal, some mission, challenges that come along the way, and the ability to kind of overcome that and come out feeling like you've achieved something.
Shout out to Root Boy, shout out to Matthew